Welcome to another episode of StuTube, everyone. Bitcoin finally smashes through that 100K level, but we actually, we have seen this little bit of a sell-off already. We are seeing a little bit of a fake out to the upside. Is it time to worry? I'm not so sure yet, but there's a couple things I want to look at. I'm currently running a short on both Bitcoin and as well on XRP here. From my blue dash lines, stop losses are in a profit because I might lose track of these throughout this stream, but I'll go into those positions, why I took them, what I'm doing with my stop losses on the way, etc., etc. But yeah, I just basically want to do some position babysitting. I'll be checking out all sorts of time frames, and I'm down to check out any altcoins. So if anybody has any altcoin requests in the chat, let me know. Let me know the time frame as well as what ticker, what exchange you're on, and that sort of thing. Just because indicator signals can be different and that sort of thing. But other than that, gonna start by just hopping right over to the Bitcoin weekly chart. I don't think it's time to worry yet. I mean, I really want to see how this candle closes, and I'm not really going to even be that worried unless we end up dropping below kind of this, I'm going to say 90K or so. I outlined this box on a video I made last night, just saying that what I would really like to see, and there's still time because there's a couple days until the candle close, but if we close our candle above this yellow box here, that's where, we've actually created some new structure, which I really like from the weekly perspective, that I would be looking at this yellow box as confirming a higher low if we actually got a higher high here. And this is, yes, it's micro analyzing, but I'm looking at each swing, swing by swing kind of a thing. Those of you who have been in a lot of my streams, you know how I look at structure like this on the very immediate swing. And currently, since we had this red candle, that's where I'm looking at our current high. If we can close a green candle above that, that's where I'm going to consider it a higher high. We have a confirmed support level, kind of an order block, a demand zone, whatever you want to call it. But that's where I would be looking at it as, hey, at least, at that point, Bitcoin would have done a great job this week of confirming that new structure. As it stands right now, I'm not really considering it a clean break yet because, so far it's just looking like a little bit of a rejection. So, honestly, even if we do see a bigger pullback, it's not like I think the bull market's over or anything like that. If anything, I think we could just come back and test some, they're going to feel like significantly lower levels if it ends up happening. Even testing our previous all-time highs, somewhere around there. Like, Bitcoin has done a great job. The fact that we consolidated in this range here for about 8 months, Bitcoin did a great job of building structure on the way up. So even if we take a little tumble to the downside, I don't necessarily think we would just drop support and turn into a bear market kind of a move. I think we just have a bunch of support, a bunch of structure below us, and I think that's great. But at this point, like I said, there's still a couple days until the candle body close. And if we close above this yellow box, I'm going to be very bullish on the trend. As far as the trend master, notice that's actually lining up currently on the weekly time frame. A beautiful buy trend here. It's lining up very well as support with that box that I just made as a potential, higher low kind of zone that we currently have. So yeah, even if we drop down, there's a lot of things showing some support there. Looking at the 4 hour, yeah, that looks a little rough, but there is obviously a lot of buying pressure happening, right? And just kind of, if I wanted to point out a Stuber fib, actually check this out. So just looking at this as our last high before this is our higher high, obviously. Where would we be? That's our higher low. That would be the lowest point between the two. Let's just set this Fibonacci and notice so far a Stuber fib technically would have played out. So far would be sitting in a profit. It would be getting very close to the 0.5 target. If you laddered in at my 3 entries, the 786, 886, and the full-on double bottom, still some wiggle room below the 115. So that's technically a possible setup that just played out really fast on the 4 hour. So again, I don't think that it's like all hope is lost for Bitcoin. I'm already out of half of my position. Like I said earlier, I'm in a bit of a short. I have some trigger stop losses above some other structure on the way up on the 1 minute here. Like if we take out this high, I am going to be closing out some more of my short position. And like I said, I TP'd half when I saw my phone started alerting me of price drops and we got this. I just ended up closing half because I mean, there's a good chance. Basically, the way I look at it, once I enter a position, especially if it's on like a 1 minute like this, for example, you know, I have to ask myself, if I would have shorted from way up here and I got this move to way down here and I never took any profits and then got stopped out, would I be upset? Yeah, because, you know, at 25x leverage, this is a nice trade. It's sitting, when I checked it, it was over 100%. I'm just getting a little bit of background noise from somebody. Let me just scope out who it is. Maybe they're muted now. All right. Yeah. Anyways, basically the way I look at things when I'm in a position, if the position ends up reversing on me, and am I going to be upset by that outcome because I never ended up locking in profits when I had the opportunity? If the answer is yes, I'm going to be upset, then I should probably start locking in some profits because, you know, I just don't want to have any regrets. Everybody loves to hit a home run trade. And that's why I think a lot of XRP Moon Boys are probably not too happy right now, because a lot of people have been waiting for that breakout for, you know, upwards of 5 years. And when we finally get it, everybody was starting to get even more FOMO. The bullish posts on Twitter and stuff like that were getting outrageous as we were trading up at this level. And notice that when we look at this, as far as basic structure, and how you guys know that I love pointing out Stuber fibs all the time, that is a perfect Stuber fib rejection. And you guys know that if this was the 1 minute or the 5 minute, I would have short this every single time, because that's basically my signature trade setup. I love playing that first test of the 786, 886 fib pocket. So I wasn't trading that on the weekly, but when we hit that level, I started getting very vocal about, you know, warnings about XRP. Basically, I started on my Twitter even, you know, XRP strong momentum, FOMO's kicking in right at the Stuber fib resistance. Look how perfectly that was in that box when I started to warn about it. Whereas everyone, so many other people on social media are just getting more and more FOMO and more hype. That was the perfect opportunity to start looking for those short setups. And honestly, like I said, I think as far as me shorting Bitcoin on this trend, yeah, I think it was dangerous. It's playing with fire because, you know, it has some good momentum on its side and it's had healthy price action. Whereas I feel much different about XRP with this straight 400% move, I believe it was. Whoops. From the time to buy would have been at support or even playing the breakout, but people are getting FOMO at resistance, at macro resistance after a 400% move to the upside, basically. You know, I would just rather be accumulating coins that are early into their breakouts, or you know, at least at a support level, or just starting to break structure on a weekly time frame that haven't got this move yet. I just think there's more opportunity with you know, tighter risk management, tighter invalidations, and that sort of thing. So I felt much differently about shorting XRP. I had no second thoughts about it. I've been actually quite funny. I've been scalping the 15-second with the MDX ALGO, the Trendmaster indicator. I've been having a lot of fun scalping XRP on the total degenerate timeframes. Yes, even lower than a 1 minute, but it's been so volatile. And when I see the trend forming of which way these indicators are moving, I had absolutely zero problem shorting with a very tight stop loss. You know, like I showed here, I have this downward, all of a sudden we start getting lower sell signals, right? As we're kind of flatlining, losing momentum, all of a sudden lower sell signals. So I took a stab at a short on this, and it has played out beautifully. Like I said, you know, I've closed half of it, but at a 25%, or sorry, 25x leverage. I mean, again, that's still over 100%. That's over 100% profit on a position that I took on the 15-second chart. Because of this, again, it's just kind of one of the strategies that I use with this indicator. I like to notice not so much taking every buy and sell signal, but I like to notice which way they are trending. And that can be very powerful confluence. You know, if you can wait for, you know, some sort of a pullback as well, you know, if you have other trade strategies lining up with that, it's just very good confluence to have. So like right now, for example, yeah, maybe we do reverse because we get a buy signal here. However, it is a lower buy signal. We still have lower trending sell signals. So I'm just not sold on this trend reversing at this point. If we end up getting a higher buy signal, I'll actually close a little bit more of my position again, just to downsize my risk, just to pay myself a little more. I mean, I'm not looking for a home run trade on the 15-second, obviously, right? I'm just looking for reasons to get out of it, basically, which is why on this dump right before right before starting the stream, and I closed half of that position already. So yeah, both sitting with a great stop loss, both in a profit, so nothing to worry about here. XRP, here's the thing, guys. If this does act as a full-on rejection, I'm not saying it's likely, but it's absolutely probable that it drops down to $1 again. And basically my thing is, a lot of people who have serious FOMO with XRP, because there is such a cult around it, it's dangerous thinking that a lot of people are not willing to take any profits on a move like this because they just feel guaranteed $10, $20, whatever, some ridiculous targets out there. Maybe it does keep going up, but again, if you got into a breakout trade from down here and you're not taking any profits after a 400% move, especially if you're on leverage with that, I mean, would you be upset if it turned around and you round trip that entire move? That would bother the hell out of me if it happened to me, because that is a massive trade, and a lot of people are only adding heavily to their position as we came up here. FOMO was getting crazy on social media right as we were testing the 786, and that's very typical on any asset. And a lot of people were adding to their bags heavily at that level, so they're actually making their average entry even worse, and then they need the price to go up even more, right? So yeah, taking profits can really help you avoid a lot of stress in this market, in my opinion. Me personally, I'm more interested in plays like Eng. I was pointing this out in a couple of previous streams. I know Max was live streaming the one Saturday, and I pointed this out to him, and it was basically a perfect, bottom so far. And yeah, you know what? That doesn't need to moonshot. Who knows if it gets near its all-time highs? I don't care. All I know is that I would rather be buying coins that are just breaking this kind of structure. And again, this is a weekly chart. That's a very strong support resist level. We got this breakout of this nice tightly coiled little consolidation here. I can even zoom into the daily and it's even more clear. Beautiful trend line break and retest here, and just staircasing higher from there. So kind of that same way I was looking at market structure before, right? Higher high, confirming a higher low, higher high, confirming a higher low. Yes, it's just the immediate trend. It's not, big structure or anything like that. But basically, until we lose that kind of support, I mean, this is just looking beautiful to me. It's still staircasing higher. I'm way more interested in coins that haven't gone up 400% straight into resistance and that actually have potential for a lot further upside. So, I was loading up down at these levels. Another one would be Swarm. Found a absolutely perfect double bottom. I can zoom out to the weekly, the daily, whatever. Very macro support. Matched it, just absolutely pinpoint accurate. And you go over to the daily chart here. Again, we had a very nice downtrend there. As soon as we broke that, going to the upside. Point of control on the volume delta indicator. We basically broke that and, off to the races. So again, nice, big, beautiful downward sloping, looks like a bit of a wedge here. Depends how you want to draw it. Maybe more something like so. Diagonal trend lines are always, everyone draws them a little bit different, but either way, a very nice breakout there, just beautiful support. I was way more into the idea of buying coins at a very significant support level, again, rather than waiting until, up here. I'm not going to start buying this coin up here, right? Because at that point, I'm FOMOing into resistance. So that's where I'm way more into a double bottom type of play on a macro scale. So that's why I was feeling good on Swarm. Trio, we still have the 4-hour trend master indicator, higher buy signals. I would love to see this pull back a little bit more, honestly. I would love to see a Stuber fib, something like that, and continue the higher low trend with a higher buy signal. I would love to see that. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but that's just something I've been watching. As well, the ALGO Master points out the same one. These are some automatic Stuber fibs. Absolutely crazy, guys, at the ALGO Master. You can see here, if you like the way that I look at Fibonacci's, basically you can have them automatically set up. They don't always match mine perfectly, but so often they're the exact same way that I set my fibs. And I love using it as a second opinion. But yeah, Stuber fibs automatically places them for you. And yeah, this one matches up exactly how I just had it pulled, how I would pull it myself. So absolutely crazy. And if you're ever struggling with fibs, or you just want a second opinion or whatever, know that there are the automatic fibs there that often pull very nice ranges like that. So yeah, Trio, another one that I'm interested in. Obviously, if we drop down a little more, I'm going to be buying more. Ultra, another one that was just a beautiful support level. You know, we had this old resistance back here. Even if you wanted to kind of go from this whole level, basically just very, very nice support, that where we found support. And also this downward sloping trend line. Again, I can zoom in on the daily. Absolutely beautiful breakout. Even kind of retested this here and just moonshot from there. So again, these are more so the coins that I've been interested in, just because, again, they're at support. I'd rather buy support and sell resistance, but I know it's hard to do that mentally sometimes, but that's just more so what I'm doing. So not financial advice. You do what works for you. I am not a fundamentals guy either. I want to be very clear about that. I'm more so just, if I see a chart and I like it, I'll buy it, and so on. I know nothing about these projects in the grand scheme of things, but those are some that I've been accumulating. Same with Doge. I've been buying some more Doge, even though this one has run quite a bit. But just the fact, you know, Elon basically getting into office, I just, the whole Department of Doge, whatever. There's just so much potential there. One of the original memes. I mean, that's just one that I feel like has my interest. If I bring up the Trend Master with that one, notice that higher low that I'm looking at. So again, let's hop over to 4 hour on Doge. So as far as the Stuber fib goes, right, here would have been our last high and higher high. We have not broke that yet. So that's why I have this green level as my support still. And notice, so that would be my higher low because it's the lowest point between my high and higher high. So that's where I'm pulling my fib from. And notice where we ended up finding support, right at that Stuber fib right there. So that's, again, that's why I love that strategy. I find so often that the first test of the 786, 886 fib pocket like that does get respected. Hit both targets already, the 0.5 fib, the 214 fib. So yeah, maybe that's all it has in the tank, but the uptrend, the trend is still the upside, unless we lose this green line, basically, in my opinion. So that's what I'm watching. I just want to hop back into Bitcoin, looking at the, I just want to check my position on my other device here. Just want to see if my partial stop loss triggered. No, not quite. Yeah, so XRP short and Bitcoin short still going strong. XRP, I really want to watch XRP. I want to watch this with you guys too on the 15-second with the Trendmaster indicator. Love, just like I said, just watching for those lower sell signals. I know not everybody's trading the 15-second, and honestly, most people shouldn't. But this is just something that I've been doing as far as scalping recently, and it's just been fun to watch, right? Just watching the indicators unfold. Seeing how early it calls those trend shifting moments, right? Like even here, for example, we did trend to the upside very briefly, but all of a sudden we get a lower buy signal followed by a lower sell signal. Beautiful little short there. Yeah, even though this is the 15-second, that was a 2% move. Like here we set a lower buy signal and it kind of looks like we're going to lose that trend again. It looks like we're going to print another lower sell signal. We haven't yet, but that's just what it looks like to me. As well, the stablecoin indicator looks like it got a little bit toppy right about here. As well, the RSI crossed over bearish. A couple warnings that the trend may be continuing to the downside here. Sorry guys, I will catch up on the chat here. I've just been trying to go over everything really quickly here. Yeah, weekly under 90, unlikely, but bad if it happens. I agree with that. I still think that this weekly candle will close above this yellow box, or even around where we are right now. But yeah, I agree. If we close below 90, I think that's bad. And at least short term, I think we would end up pulling back quite significantly, like back towards that 70K level. But we'll have to see. There's also support around 85, 88. But so far, like, that's a nice bounce here. I just want to check that Stuber fib once more. Yeah, getting very close to that 0.5 fib. GME on Sol pumped 49% today. Take a look in the stream if there's time. Yeah, I might. That like on Dex Tools, I could check that out. I think that's probably the only place that would be. But first I'm going to look at some of the higher cap coins, and I will absolutely get my DGen on later. Orca, I can check out Orca. What time frame and exchange for Orca? I will also check out Cardano. Oh, the Roaring Kitty is posting about GME. That'll do it. I'll just check out the overall chart. 4 hour, perfect. That's what I'm already on. There was a potential bearish Stuber fib here, and it got invalidated. So here, let me just, I like to start with a naked chart anyways. Yeah, let me just take a look. Let me start zoomed out. I just want to get a bigger view of it. Oh yeah, nice rounding bottom there. Love to see that. And again, this is one that, you know, it would have been way better buying into, you know, you had all these opportunities of these very tightly coiled ranges here, and playing the breakout on something like that rather than, you know, the people who are FOMOing in way up at these levels. And that's kind of what I'm feeling like with XRP right now, that I think it has potential to pull back a lot. This, on the other hand, I don't know. I think this looks great right now. Looking at the daily chart first, I know you asked for the 4 hour. I will zoom into that in a little bit. But basically, I would, as long as we hold above this here, I would like, I mean, that's obviously a fairly significant drop to the downside if we did get that. But that's just looking at the current market structure on the daily, right? As we did have this high on this trend, and here's our higher high. So that's the lowest point between the two. As long as we're holding that, still healthy in my opinion. I personally don't really think that it'll drop below this, because that we might just be flipping this resistance into support. Actually, and I could even zoom out a little bit. It's more so that we broke this entire range, right? So flipping that resistance into support, in my opinion, looks great. Bringing out the trend master, also providing beautiful support. Here's one of those times again, guys, when I was talking about spotting the trend on these things, look at this lower sell signal here on this 4 hour trend, and then getting into those sell opportunities along that. I mean, what kind of a gain are we looking at there? That was a fifth. So just noticing when the trend master catches a reversal like that, I mean, that was a 59% move to the downside. And then notice what happens when we get a higher buy signal. This is actually something I strongly consider when I'm doing spot buying. When I'm accumulating new positions, is I look for this kind of thing with the trend master indicator on the 4 hour and the daily. I love to see when we get a higher buy signal, and this is a beautiful example where we come back to that buy signal. How much did we end up pumping? Boom, 107% move to the upside with that signal. So I love using that indicator for that reason. I know a lot of people have switched to the Algo Master, and I use the Algo Master as well. But when it comes to spotting a trend and those trend reversals, I love looking at the Trend Master and that method specifically. Obviously, everybody sees things different. There's different settings that you can use. What I personally use for the Trend Master, I do have my preset ones here. So MDX did add these, or whoever did the coding here added StuTube trading as a preset. So that's how you automatically get your buy sell signals to look like mine on the Trend Master. But yeah, that's looking beautiful on the daily to me. Hopping over to the 4 hour, I do have one concern right now. A lot of people are going to know what that is, but let me just see what the indicators are saying. I do love that it got another higher buy signal here on the 4 hour. But again, that move might have already happened, because really since that signal, it did get a 20% pump from that. I would, that was a beautiful play. The trend is still to the upside, but the one concern that I have on the 4 hour on something like this is we did lose this structure here. Because again, high, slightly higher high. This is the lowest point between the two. We lose that structure, and look where we're currently trading. I think a lot of you know where I'm going with this, is that was a perfect Stuber fib rejection, right? Looked right to the 886 perfectly and then rejected. One reason why I don't necessarily think that's valid is, well, because it already did hit the 0.5 fib. So technically the first target has already played out. So maybe that's all the bearish move had in it. Also, the fact that, like I just pointed out, higher trending buy signals on the Trend Master, that looks pretty bullish to me. RSI, yes, it's looking a little toppy, but honestly, in a strong trend, I mean, the RSI can go overbought for quite some time. Like, just look what happened back here, right? As soon as it got overbought is basically when the bigger move did happen there. So in a trending market, the RSI going into overbought territory often just means that there's a lot of buying pressure. So that can be misunderstood. The stablecoin indicator does concern me a little bit more there. Why maybe that Stuber fib is actually in play. So I do have my concerns on the 4 hour. I personally, I would really like to see this resistance break at this point, just because there is that bearish Stuber fib there. And not just the fact that it's a Stuber fib, but because of this structure break, right? I don't think it's necessarily all that bad. Again, indicators, I don't know. The daily especially, I don't know. I don't think it looks too bad. I think the structure overall, I think it's pretty obvious that it looks like a big rounding bottom. It looks like it's just staircasing higher. It's just whether or not a little bit of a pullback happens first. But I think that looks like a beautiful trend. I should actually probably load up on some of that. I might look into that. ADA, I said I would look at 1 and 4 hour. I can do that. Binance. I thought I was looking at this the other day, but I don't know if I actually was. No, I know I was, but I'm not sure which chart. Just at a quick glance, I really want to see if there's any. Oof. I mean, technically, as I know not everybody likes diagonal trend lines. I'm very picky with my diagonal trend lines. I don't go for average touch points. I don't go for the most touch points. I go for exact wick touch points when I pull them. Everyone has their own methods. That's just personally what I'm comfortable with because I've always done it that way. But now that this trend line has had so many touches on it, if we ended up breaking it and retesting it, at that point I would look for weakness for reasons to short or retest kind of a thing. As it stands right now, I mean, support is support until it's broken. And so far we are still holding this diagonal support here. Let's just look for more horizontal. What can I see here? What I don't like on this immediate trend on the 1 hour is that we have this low. Actually, here, make a ray here. So we have this low here. We did technically close below it. So if I wanted to look at the highest point between the two, that would be my current lower high on this trend. And that's, well, that's exactly where we ended up getting a double top, right? So technically there is some bearish concern there, if that, maybe that does end up pushing us through this. But the thing is, that move may have already happened, right? Because again, we're just at the bottom of that new range now. So yes, if momentum's going to carry at this point, in my opinion, it will go lower before higher. I want to check out the 4 hour actually.
Just out of interest, Stu, if you look at that trend line, those low, we've seen that lower low come in many times on this run, if that makes sense. And I wonder if you would comment on that.
The lower low, like kind of here, we do a lower low and
Yeah,
bounce
it's
off
happened.
that trend line.
Yeah,
And
there.
then
And I
lower
think,
low, bounce off that trend line.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely possible, right? And that's why I say support is support until it's broken, because even though there was this little downtrend here, notice that that's also where it kept finding support and breaking structure to the upside then, right? So, I mean, yeah, as far as it stands, that line is still support, in my opinion. So we're just basically in this. This actually looks more like an ascending triangle to me, honestly. If we lose that support, I will have my concerns. But until that drops and, you know, does the old support resist flipperoo there, so far it's just looking like we're basically along support. And if we were going to continue this trend to the upside, I mean, a little ascending triangle here would make perfect sense. What would be a measured move on something like that? Would take it up to about $1.36.7 ish. So what kind of a move from here? That would be, oops, oh god, clickies. That would be almost a 20% move from here. So yeah, I mean, technically still at support.
Could also just a note on the higher time frames on the week. The 118.6 is 118.6 is the weekly resistance coming down from the bear market, like the final. It's like a really high time frame resistance that we're literally battling. Like we just got over it, and now we're going back under for a moment. Yeah. Like on the weekly, yeah, you're on the monthly.
Yes. Here, let me zoom in a little bit.
Looks like every other coin we've looked at so far.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the thing, hey. And notice, again, we get that tight consolidation, right? Where when you get that breakout, I mean, there's so many altcoins that are doing this right now. And honestly, like, yeah, it's great that Bitcoin broke 100K finally, but it's altcoins that have me excited right now. And a lot of you guys know that, like, I pretty much avoided altcoins for a long time, but I just think that if there's a time to be excited about them, it's now. It's when they're all, you know, now that the market has clarified that it is very healthy, we are seeing, you know, prices we've never seen before. And it's not like there's panic selling. Yeah, there's, you know, well, actually, that one did look like panic selling, but it's getting bought back up. And again, that was just a super fib retest. Yeah, it went below it, but it never got invalidated. So, I mean, yeah, I think that the market, yeah, even if there is a big pullback, like I said, there's just so much support down below. Ooh, I mean, that is an ugly looking swing fail on the daily there. And the daily does close in 16 minutes. But I think the weekly close will be quite telling. I don't know. At this point, I don't want to speculate too much on what's going to happen until Sunday evening when we see the weekly close. And we might need another week to kind of decide. Maybe this is just another red, just another doji kind of like this. And then maybe we break out from there. That would be even better, right? Just that little extra support here when we do end up blasting through.
The old Sunday correction. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Love a good Sunday sell-off. Sunday fun day. Oh, Bitcoin dominance. Good call. I did want to look at that. And yeah, exactly, right? Speaking of diagonal trend lines breaking after several touches. You know, just actually, I guess it depends how you want to draw it, but either way, a very obvious uptrend like that, to see it break like this, even if the Bitcoin dominance does bounce, I could see it just flipping that old support into resistance. And, you know, just having that that little bit of bounce, kind of focus on Bitcoin again, and then it's altcoin time again. I think basically any time that Bitcoin makes a move up and then calms down, calms its titties, as I like to say, at that point altcoins start going nuts again, right? Because there's more confidence in the market. And all that sort of thing, unless the market gets spooked, right? It totally depends how Bitcoin acts. If it pumps and then gets spooked, yeah, the altcoins might get spooked with it. But if it just kind of starts ranging, that's when you see that there's not a bunch of panic selling on the macro time frame. That's where you're going to see the altcoins start to explode, right? And that's just why I'm getting so excited by seeing the ones that are just kind of breaking out. And that's why over the last few weeks, why I've been accumulating some of these at their weekly support levels, because I just think there's big percentage gains to be made on a lot of these. Oops. Like from where we broke out. Oh, Jesus. Why is that not working? Yeah, like a 400% move. And again, just like XRP, right? When we get that, I shouldn't say when, if we end up getting that move from that swarm double bottom breakout, whichever way you want to look at it, getting that 400% move into the Stuber fib pocket, that's where I'm going to be looking at taking some profits if I'm still holding it. That's not where I'm going to be looking to FOMO into the thing. Sorry, I keep going back to XRP just because I know there's a lot of XRP moon boys out there. And honestly, it's not to shit all over the project. I don't care, fundamentally, whatever. Think what you want and all that sort of thing. All I'm saying is just be cautious when FOMO starts kicking in right at resistance. Because like I said, a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart, that's a Stuber fib short setup that I love to take basically anytime I notice it. So the fact that it happened on a weekly, yeah, I'm not at all surprised that we saw that there. And that's why I was warning about it on Twitter before it happened.
Ouch, my XRP holdings. I guess I'll have to buy more.
Yeah, and that's just it, right? Like if you're comfortable holding XRP and just riding out the bumps and you want to buy more at cheaper prices, absolutely. You know, it's just more so that a lot of people are buying heavily right into resistance, where it's like, you know, even I would be interested in buying it if it had a healthy price action at all, right? But this was just a straight moonshot into resistance. So it's just time to be a little cautious at that level is all. It's nothing personal against the project. Like I said, if Swarm does that, I'll feel the exact same way about it. Ultra does that, I will feel the exact same way about it. I want to, just out of curiosity, with Ultra, what would a full-on Stuber fib percentage be if we got it? That would be a 14x. That's a pretty big move if that does happen. I don't know how the project's doing or anything like that, but again, just looking at that support level, if the market is going to remain healthy and altcoins do go nuts, I mean, those are some realistic targets in my opinion.
True. I mean, project be damn. If there's money to be made, I'm making money.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no room for emotions in these markets. Don't marry your trade, right? Yeah, if you want to look at something for making money, fantastic. Like from where we broke out here on Eng, that would be a 17x from where that support was. Even from where we are now, that would be a 9x if we do get up there. So obviously it's going to depend what Bitcoin does, but I think at this point, we all know it's not a bear market at this point. I mean, to be fair, we could be blindsided by one. Absolutely, it can happen at any time. But I just personally don't see it yet. And as long as we keep building structure to the upside, basically until we lose some weekly structure again, I'm going to remain bullish at this point. The last time I was bearish was back here when we lost this weekly structure. And it depends if you want to look at candle bodies. That's why I have that there. But even looking at this, as again, a lot of people consider it very micro analyzing. That's totally fine. I get it. Everyone has their own trading styles. But I had this, basically these candle bodies, or sorry, this candle body as a high, then these ones as a higher high. Very micro analyzing, I know. But when we ended up losing those candle bodies, that support level, notice what happened. We ended up, and I know a lot of people, you guys have seen this a million times from earlier streams, but that's where I got bearish on that trend, was because we ended up getting a perfect Stuber fib on the weekly because we lost some sort of structure like that, right? As it stands right now, we haven't had that, so I see no reasons to be concerned yet. At this point, we just have to ride it out and see what structure says. I honestly don't have any targets in mind. I'm not one of those guys who's going to shill you crazy targets. I have no idea what Bitcoin's going to top out at. And I'm not even going to pretend to guess. I mean, we could pull out some fib extensions and stuff, but I'm more of a fib retracement guy myself. But other than that, I'm more so interested in reacting to the price action we get. I think it's far more important to be able to react than predict. So rather than saying target that, you know, over time, I mean, there's so many things that could happen in the world to change that. So I would just rather wait until we lose some sort of a higher low structure, and then I can at least know it's time to be cautious until that trend changes again. And that's where a lot of people were giving me a hard time while I was cautiously bearish at these levels. Every time we got back up to my macro Stuber fib in that range, I would start to get a little bit bearish, and I took a lot of flack for that. But you know, the trend was there until it wasn't, and as soon as that was invalidated, then it was time to be bullish again. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and that's what's going to happen in the future. Basically, if we lose higher low structure on the larger time frames, I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit. But until that happens, I think it's full on Moon Boy back in the house. And I know a lot of you guys missed the old Moon Boy stew because I was bearish for a few months there. I know not everyone wants to hear that. How is everyone else feeling on the market anyways? Does anyone think like that's the end of the bull market? Is anybody scared like that? How is everybody feeling? Oh, nice. Another lower sell signal on Bitcoin on the 1 minute. What's XRP doing? Another lower buy. See, again, I know we missed this because it's a 15-second and it's happening ridiculously fast. But again, notice we just got another lower sell signal on the Trendmaster indicator. And yeah, even though it's a 15-second, from where that signaled on the candle close, oops, that would have been almost a 2% move to the downside that happened within minutes, right? So that's, I've been loving playing with this trending indicator on the lower time frames and just, you know, scalpies. So I'm loving where these positions are at right now. At this point, 120k BTC, yeah, absolutely think that's possible. Sorry, I have a couple more to go back on here. Zeph, I will check out Zeph. Actually, sorry, before I close the Bitcoin dominance, just curious. No, never even got there. Zeph. And I'm assuming, oh, see, that's another one of those ones that I feel better about this than XRP. I know nothing about it. All I know is it's at, you know, more so a support level, and even had a little breakout here. Going to the daily probably make a little more sense. But love to see what that structure is doing. Again, we had one of those tight consolidation ranges. Even something like that. Gonna make this guy a little thinner just so we can really zoom in and see how accurate this was. Looking for my 3 touch points, because whenever I look for trend line breaks, I like to see 3 touch points before. So if you want to go something like that, either way, nice breakout. Either way, nice tight consolidation. And if you want to go even the horizontal structure, I mean, broke some serious resistance there. Nice little range there on the daily as well, getting above this structure here, which is also the support back here, but more so the fact that it was resistance here. So to see basically, let me just make a little old resistance box and look how perfectly that ended up flipping into support there. Absolutely beautiful to see that. And to see that here, I just want to delete some drawings here. The fact that even on this little pullback we had here, so notice we never did break higher low structure, right? I'm not considering this higher low because we never had a higher high after this. So the way I was explaining structure earlier is on this little trend here, this was our last high where we got our little pause, higher high. There's our higher low. And notice we did not drop below that level. And if we pull a fib from there, I mean, a Stuber fib play would have been perfect. Already technically hit its 214 target. But as far as the trend looks, the trend also still looks beautiful. It's just that understand, you know, some of the upwards target as far as a Stuber fib goes have already been hit. But just beautiful structure there. And really nothing to worry about unless we lose that level, basically. Even on this little downtrend here. So here's where we broke some structure, right? We had a low, lower low, lower high, because it's the highest point between the two. Here's our bullish signal. That's where I like to pull a Fibonacci. And look where we ended up finding support. Perfectly in that 786, 886 fib, Stuber fib pocket. So those of you who are new to my streams, you can see there's a common theme here. I love looking at structure breaks, and yes, they seem very micro-analyzing when I first go into it, but understand that, you know, where I'm coming from and why I'm confirming these structure levels and then looking for those pullbacks after, right? Because, you know, most people psychologically want to basically buy into breakouts, right? It's the sexiest thing is in the charts. It always looks good when it's breaking out. But this is what I like to see more so, a change in this structure here where this is my buy signal, but I'm not buying into the breakout, right? I'm looking for that pullback, and that's where the Fibonacci's come in hand. Come in handy. That's where I look for the pullback, and I don't like to start entering my positions until the 786 because I like to get that tight invalidation, right? So as far as a risk reward setup, you know, your invalidation below the lows is significantly tighter when you're waiting for these fibs here rather than buying in at the breakout, right? So that's just why I really like Fibonacci's. I find that they're very structured. You know, I have my take profit levels laid out in front of me. I have my entries laid out in front of me, and so on. So I just think that there's a lot less room for interpretation when I look for ranges and, you know, seeing ranges form like that and then looking for those fibs. I find it's a much easier way of like really playing range by range rather than trying to find out which support levels are going to actually be that significant, right? So that's just where maybe it's just a habit of being a scalper. That's where where being a scalper comes into play, that I just like to look for those tight invalidation levels because obviously trading with higher leverage don't always have a ton of wiggle room without liquidation if you're using high leverage, right? But yeah, so as far as the daily on this one, I think it looks beautiful here. The stablecoin indicator is the only thing kind of concerning me a little bit. Kind of looks like a bit of a bearish divergence there, but Trendmaster indicator on the daily setting a higher buy signal like that, I just think that's a beautiful looking sign right there, in my opinion.
Could you pull Uber fibs on it?
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah. Could you pull Uber fibs on it?
The Uber fibs?
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know the exact rules of the Uber fibs. I have my own Stuber fibs. I think that would more so be Smallio, like Will. Actually, I think there's a few of the guys who use the Uber fibs. I just personally don't, and I don't want to accidentally teach them differently. I've used them before, but it was several months ago, so I just don't want to accidentally do it wrong. I could try and see if the auto ones on the ALGO Master will pull. Because I believe, yeah, Uber fibs are also a thing.
Oh, they both work. Trust me.
Oh, this one's only showing them to the downside currently. 4 hour. Showing them to the downside. Might just not be enough price history or something like. Oh, here we go. On the 1 hour, we got some Uber fibs. So hit the 1618, but yeah, I mean, if it's gonna hit some of these other crazy targets. Actually, I want to zoom out again.
Already been to 50, so.
Sorry, I just want to. Okay, now I'll zoom back in. You want the 15, did you say?
No, that it had already gone to $50.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's only like 10 million market cap. So.
Even on the 15-minute, those are looking pretty. Yeah, there's some pretty high targets there. Sorry, let me zoom out one more time. Oh yeah, right. Just below 52. What kind of a move are we looking at if we do end up getting up to the Stuber fibs, for example, would be over a 30x? Wow. Yeah, I mean, the fact. Let me hop back over to the daily. Obviously, that's one of those things, right? There is big upside potential, as long as I obviously know nothing about it fundamentally or anything like that. But as far as just looking how it looks like structure is, like I said, rounding bottom, we're starting to break those tight consolidation rounds or tight consolidation ranges to the upside. Yeah, and even like I said, getting those bullish Stuber fibs and stuff like that, it's just looking like a beautiful trend starting to the upside. So to see that it has been up at $50 before and it's currently at around $3.48, that's a big potential move, even if it only gets part of the way there, right? Like even our first fib here getting back up to $11 or $12, even from that where we are right now would be over a 200% move to the upside. So yeah, I think a lot of altcoins have some very big moves looming right now.
It's a very spicy move.
Oh, it absolutely is looking that way to me.
Oh, helpful tip. Well, it helps me when switching through multiple time frames. Just right click and reset chart.
Oh, yeah, just to I think it's a little ADD. I just love rolling the mouse wheel around and shit.
I feel that, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, good to know. Thank you. Yeah, man, that is a nice looking rounding bottom on the daily when it really centers it in there for me like that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like, I think the market cap's somewhere between 10 and 15 million right now.
Yeah, so just a tiny.
And there's like 6 million circulating supply, so.
Nice. Yeah, I might have to. Like I said, I know nothing about it, but I might have to consider buying a little bit of that because I like the charts, and that's how I do my trading. So,
Yeah.
yeah, good. See,
I mean, it is prone to FOMO though, because it did go from like $1 to $50, right? So.
yeah. So why not again? Like I said, even if it gets up to those Stuber fibs on the macro time frame like that, I mean, that's still a huge gain. Adrian, what's your opinion on the lower time frame now for Bitcoin? How would you trade it if you wouldn't be in a trade? In your opinion, go lower than that, looking at the 4 hour, how high it is, but it's really confusing, weird place now to trade it. Honestly, I've been feeling like the Bitcoin is in a weird place right now. That's Darth Maul at his finest, hey? That's a rough one on the 4 hour. That's hard to say. I mean, the way this candle looks on the 4 hour, it looks like the move has already played out both ways. Basically, we got a range size move to the upside followed by the downside. Like we kind of just, like, to me, it almost looks like we're just creating a bigger range again. I want to zoom in on this one. The trend on the 1 minute, still to the downside for me. I really don't like to fight this trend master indicator. I even though we got this higher buy signal here, we don't have both trending signals confirmed yet. So I'm still favoring the downside as long as we have sell signals, lower sell signals. I'm hanging on to the rest of my short for now. Honestly, what I could see happening is even if we just fill this wick, right? Because that was a big violent move on the 4 hour. So if we really zoom into the 1 minute like this, I mean, why wouldn't we get a Stuber fib of this? Let me just... It wouldn't even technically be a Stuber fib because we never did break our lower high. If we just look at this immediate trend, this was the low of this range. That would be the highest point between basically our low and our lower low. We don't really have anything between that. So the lower high is still way up here at about 99.5K. That's the Blofin chart. I know prices can vary a little bit. So technically we... Actually, speaking of that, I just want to check if this has happened. Notice where we're struggling right now? Once you start to see these, they just kind of pop up everywhere. But yeah, that's a perfect 786 rejection, right? From our lower high to our lower low. Pull the fib, we bounce up to the 786, and that's right where the bears step back in. So yeah, still trending to the downside for me until at least the trend master decides to flip and get higher trending sell signals and buy signals on the at least the 1 minute. Also, something else I would watch for is, even though it's technically not a full-on Stuber fib, there's still the chance that the 786, 886 fib pocket would provide good support. So I'm going to map out some support, something like this, even though I'm going to, just so I know where that fib pocket is. I'm going to lock that in place. Also going to say that is where we have our support, our current lows, and our current highs. So that's basically how I lay out a range, right? Because as I showed, this was our low, lower low. So the high is the highest point between the two, and then the lowest low, obviously the low. So between this red and green line, this is the range that I'm looking at right now. This is the range that we're currently in on the 1 minute. That's a nice big volatile range. There's some nice big moves if you're a scalper with leverage. Those are nice moves. Even if we do end up getting back down to this level from here, that's over a 5.5% move on Bitcoin back down to those levels. And obviously it might not happen. We might just continue trending to the upside from here if we do just print higher sell signal, higher buy signal. Maybe the trend is just going to shift to the upside. If we get that, I'm going to be looking to close some more, but I'm actually going to adjust my stop loss as well. Just to give you guys a little insight of how I like to trade and when I'm in an active position like this. Since I did just outline this range here, my invalidation, my stop loss is still fairly reasonable as far as my invalidation goes. I might bump it up a little bit. Don't you know, bump it up. Just to make sure I lock in a little bit more. If we break the 115,
No.
I think we're going to
Do not start that on the stream.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's
Please,
not
I
allowed.
have nightmares.
There's enough of that on MDX.
We are
It's
done.
fine.
We done with it.
And I do it constantly and on all the chats. It don't, please.
I'm so sorry for interrupting you, Stu, but no, we cannot start that. Yeah,
Nope.
bump it up. No, we cannot.
We will ban.
It's
Definitely
burned
ban.
into my soul at this point.
What a great song. A perfect song if you think about it.
I mean, if you're in crypto at all, you can't get away from it.
No, Exactly. Pretty funny. But yeah, so Adrian, I guess to answer your question is, yeah, I'm still looking at it bearish for now until we either shift those trend signals, or maybe if we drop down to that purple box there, kind of going to fill that wick, maybe even a full-on double bottom, or a swing fail, something like that. There might be a long opportunity. It's just the market is in a tricky spot right now, because it feels like there should be. It feels like, well, FOMO's a thing. We broke that big psychological resistance. You think that we would end up just absolutely ripping through, and I think the market is healthy. It's just that, well, maybe that's also, everyone was obviously waiting for that. As soon as that resistance breaks, we're going straight to the moon. I mean, perfect sell the news event as well, right? So it's kind of a tricky spot right now. And I think that 4-hour candle says a lot, is that I'm not really comfortable holding a position for a long time right now. I'm only interested in the shorter term plays right now, for sure.
Yeah, we are in the same boat. I was just hoping maybe you have like different opinion about it, but yeah, that's true. But what I meant before there was the oscillator, the wave master.
Oh, actually, what I don't like, I will bring up the wave master in a second as well. What I don't like is this RSI divergence.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
that's
so
why.
much, like I was talking about earlier, I'm very okay with being in overbought territory. I mean, that's where the majority of bull markets are spent, because that just means strong buying pressure. But the fact that we lost that strength, so we basically came at double top territory with significantly less strength, right? Relative strength index, RSI, relative strength index, we have less strength at the same level. So was that just a swing fail, liquidity grab from the market makers kind of a thing? Yeah, honestly, the daily chart, I have my concerns about that candle. But again, just the fact that it's such a massive candle of indecision, I am also undecided about it, honestly. See, now we technically, I don't know. I'm not feeling super bullish right now.
That's all right. Get you some Pepe coin. You'll feel a lot better.
Oh God. I'd consider buying a little Pepe. It's always good to have those established meme coins, right? I've been more so buying Doge. That could pull back a little more. But yeah, Doge is one I'm interested in. Like I said earlier in the stream, I don't do a ton of meme coins. Actually, speaking of that, I will hop into some Dex Screener for a little bit to wrap things up. But more so, my bigger holds are more so these more established coins, and also even these lower cap, like Swarm and Trio and Ultra and stuff like that, like fairly low market caps. But more established. They've been around for a lot longer than some meme coins out there. But with that being said, Dex tools. What was I seeing earlier? What meme coins was I seeing? Sam, I know you had a request, did you not?
Yeah, let's do some GameStop on
Yes,
Solana.
that's what it was.
It's a good cult. I'm not part of it, but it's got a solid cult. Good meme.
Oh, absolutely.
They do have one
if the
problem right
stock
now.
did it,
Everybody should be aware that their account got suspended on X. I have no idea why, nor do I care. So just be careful. Be careful until that comes back.
Yeah.
Just because they can't really promote themselves the way that they could before. So, and yeah, there's always a rug pull waiting to happen.
Oh yeah, but I mean, the thing is, this has been. I might have to buy some of that. God.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm not bullish. I am
Here we
bullish.
go.
It's just certain things I'm bullish on. But man, so.
It's
not financial advice. I mean, meme coins are dangerous as hell, everybody. But we like to get our degen on, so let's get our degen on.
It's a shitty for sure.
Oh, it's absolutely a shitty, but it's a shitty that's been around for a while, right? And I mean, this is level of support.
Exactly. It's just now starting to look good. And whenever the Roaring Kitty fella, what's his name? Keith Gill or something like that, whenever he says anything, which he did today, it's always cryptic, but it doesn't matter. It makes the coin pump. So buyer beware. It's a fun scratch-off ticket type of play.
Oh, exactly. In my opinion, I mean, a lot of people make a lot of money with meme coins. I generally lose money with meme coins. Like,
I think 90% of people lose money on
but
meme
I look
coins.
at it like
The
it's a VLT. You know, I've most of them I end up getting rugged or whatever. But I have caught a couple. You know, I've caught a ADX a few weeks ago. On something I had bought the day before, and all of a sudden I opened my wallet the next day and thinking, what the hell is going on here? Caught an ADX on something that I just bought as a joke to send my buddy a picture of.
Wow.
That's the meme coin life, you know? So
it can be sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I treat it like a lottery ticket. But honestly, the structure here looks good. What market cap? 41 million, something like GameStop. I mean,
so let me say this too,
because to $1 billion.
I got this on my radar in March, I believe, and it had the Roaring Kitty did a live stream for the first time in 3 years, which caused it to get attention.
Yeah.
The stock and the coin. So I remember the data back then on this coin was like 52,000 people had bought it, holders.
Yeah.
And I can't see because I'm on my phone on this stream, but however many holders there are today, the last time I looked at it, which was, I don't know, recently, it was like 48,000 people.
Yeah.
So
49.94.
For a shitty, that's my strong cult community.
Yep.
Box ticked off, you know?
Yep.
That's kind of wild, guys. That's like definitely low key kind of wild. So if you feel that scratch of the shit coin, then yeah, scratch that itch. Get you a Saki sack.
Yeah.
You know?
I got a fat bag on the last rip on GME, dude. I'm ready for round 2. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Fuck yeah. It makes it entertaining. Honestly, I'm just entertained by this. I will just laugh to high heaven if I end up making money out of it, because I don't expect that's not my expectation. So to wrap up my GME, the funny thing about my bag of GME is that the aggregator that I was using, which isn't Dex Screener, it's Bird Eye, and I'm okay with Bird Eye. But in this case, I wanted to buy 0.00, maybe 1 of a Solana, so like $9 at the time. And so I entered it in. I swear to God it was fine because I double checked my work, and the aggregator took a whole Solana from me. And I could have just flipped right then and gotten most of it back, but I was like, fuck it.
Let it ride.
Yeah.
Fuck it. So yeah, I'm the proud owner of like 7,000 of those shit coins. And yeah, this dude Keith Gill has a plan for the community. I don't believe in none of it, but he keeps the joke going, and he's got, you know, billions of dollars or whatever from his stock, and the stock got halted today. And it's gonna be a rough ride if you're taking it seriously. I wouldn't bother, but yeah, if you want to entertain yourself, throw $10 on it. You know, yeah, you might catch 10x, 100x. Who knows? It's a bull market. But yeah,
Sam, you know what? Since you and I have talked about this one in the past, like we've been private messaging about this one in the past several times throughout the months. And I do like that structure. I like that support resist level. It looks like we're staircasing, and I think everything you said makes sense. And as far as a meme coin, there's actually some structure here, right? I know a lot of people always want to get into them on day one kind of a thing. That's how I've always lost money in meme coins, is going for that initial pump, and you usually just get rugged, but you need that structure to actually form, and in my opinion this one has it. But like you said,
slowly but surely,
if you're gonna be worried about it, don't get involved with meme coins, because
no, if you're thinking that you're gonna, you know, change your life with it, I wouldn't do that. That's my suggestion. But yeah, I look at it like every day just to check on it for fun, and starting to have the it's alive, it's coming to life every time I look at that chart now. So yeah, it's cool.
I tell you what, I'd rather put money into this than XRP right now, quite honestly, like from a chart perspective.
At this moment, yeah. Yeah, so let me pontificate on
looking for, right?
When you were talking about XRP, you gave me this memory. I remember in the last the last bull run, one of my buddies called me and he was like, dude, XRP's at 90 cents. And I was like, okay, I'm not ever buying it just because, you know? And, but yeah, it had already ripped and it was down to 90 cents. You know, don't FOMO into things, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I just got to cut you off for a second here. I just want to throw a shout out to, first of all, everyone for being here, but there is a lot of OGs in the chat right now. We got you, Sam. We got Nicholas, Stock Poker, Jeff. Who else is here in some of my earliest streams ever? Yeah, I mean, haven't seen a lot of you guys in my streams for a long time, so I'd love to see it, fellas.
It's an OG reunion.
Yeah, no kidding, hey.
Bunch of legends.
New, but I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna be a legend,
stick around
boys.
this barbershop, you'll walk out with a nice haircut after several years.
Absolutely.
The FOMO must be taking over.
Man,
with all
like
of you
one
here.
thing that I've really noticed about being in this group and watching over everything is there's a very low turnover rate, and I think that says a lot about the community. You know, a lot of the people that were here in my earliest streams 2.5 years ago are still here today, kind of a thing. So very cool to see.
Yes, sir.
You guys are great.
It's a great
community. Hey, how about some Peng? The old Peng. I know you sold yours, but I still believe in a little Peng.
But I would check it out. Whatever. I have a partial stop loss on my Bitcoin. XRP, what's it doing? Sorry, I just want to babysit these.
No, go for it. Hit your charts.
I just want to close a quarter of my remaining XRP short here. Just in case. My XRP short's 138% and the Bitcoin short's 136%, so I can't really complain at this point. All right, and then Peng, you said. Let's check.
Sure, why not?
For old times.
I need to get it. It's alive.
I think Peng was my first Solana meme coin buy, and I think I caught a 10x on it or something.
Nice.
I remember it took
off. Yeah,
it
could have been one of mine too.
I think Will Smallio, I think he pointed it out a few days before it launched, and we caught this pump, basically, a lot of us in the community. But yeah, nice. I mean, same thing. Oh man, look at that support level. God, you guys are gonna make me spend too much money. I gotta buy so many things after this stream.
You gotta spend money to make money, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, you do. This is one thing I love buying.
This was a fun $9 of Solana for me, for sure. I do love it. It is a fun chart to look at. It just yeah, there you go. See, it just keeps fighting. It's gonna make it out.
It did.
Just wait until the shitties get rolling in this bull market, and yeah, it'll be fun to come back to this chart later on.
Actually, check this out. We did technically set another lower low there, so we did have this lower high here, and we did break that structure. So we do also have nice structure on this chart, in my opinion. That's the daily. Let's pull a Fibonacci.
So what you're saying is I should bet the house.
I would not say that.
So it's not financial advice.
Yeah, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, form your own opinions. But
no. If there's anybody new in here, please understand, when I look at this chart from day to day, just checking on it, I'm checking to make sure it's not dead yet. Like that's how I look at these.
Yeah, it's still existing.
Still alive. Come on, Peng.
Yeah.
You can climb out of the hole, please. Go for it.
So.
That's
being fun. They're just fun.
Going to adjust.
They are also good for your chart education too, so you can look at it as well. Because if you buy some memes, you will get some charts that are prime examples of not a chart not to buy.
Yeah. When I do that micro analyzing of a trend with that higher low structure, that when we lose that, that's when I start looking for that fib pull for the bearish rejection. When you get that structure change on a meme coin that's freshly launched or anything like that, in my opinion, it's time to get GTFO.
Yeah,
But,
a lot of great charts.
Like this looks good. Notice where we found support on Peng, right on the 886 there after that structure break.
Yep, she's trying.
To be fair, it already hit its target, the Stuber fib target, but I mean that structure is technically to the upside. Yeah, I mean, if that does end up blasting to the upside, what is it? To all-time highs would be another 11x. This is basically exactly, I might have got it a little cheaper last time, but basically right where I would have wrote it from last time. Interesting. Come on, XRP, roll over. You're not done dumping. Come on. Look at this divergence. Things are dumping. Come on, it's not done. I know I just took a little profits off it, but it's got more in the tank.
It's getting close to Asia time, if not already, too, right? Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's look at the
25
world.
minutes in.
Yep, Tokyo is doing their thing. Be interesting to see how Asia reacts today.
Yeah.
Can you check out ARC?
What's that?
Can you check out ARC? ARC.
Oh,
Some
yes,
AI
yes,
coin.
yes.
Yeah.
Did something weird happen with them the other day? Or no?
I'm not sure. I got introduced to it on one of the streams this morning.
Okay, I thought I... let me check it out. Oh, yeah, that had a nice breakout. I would say nothing bad happened to it, that's for sure. 4 hour...
Well, that's...
does kind of look like it's rolling over a little. What's the trend master saying? It's kind of losing its buy trend here. The thing is, even if it gets a sell signal here, again, when I look at this indicator, it would be a higher sell signal, right? So I'd more so be looking for, if you get a higher buy signal on the 4 hour, that could be some strong confluence trying to buy along that trend again. So, I mean, there are some concerns here, but it's obviously, it's got a strong uptrend. It's just that it might pull back a little bit.
Bit of a DCA play, maybe.
Yeah. Like, here, I just want to zoom in a little more. See, even right now, like, we have a higher sell signal, still have higher buy signals. Yeah, it's looking a little weak. This is kind of looking like one of those classic BART formations. I don't know if it would happen or not. It just kind of looks like it, but yeah, I don't know. It still has a nice uptrend in my opinion, unless we lose these lows here. But that was a very nice breakout it had already, right? Like, I would definitely say momentum is on its side. Like, it broke that trend line. It even retested it perfectly, right?
Some hotshot AI fundamentals, just knowing this is an AI cycle, most likely.
Yeah.
The upside's pretty huge.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I was watching this one for a while. It kind of fell off my radar. But that was a very nice breakout. How much has it pumped since it broke out there? Yeah, nice 300% move to the upside. Beautiful. What's its all-time highs? I mean, that's kind of what it looks like it's doing, right? In my opinion, I think it's going to just be staircasing back up towards all-time highs. Maybe even a safer target would be the Stuber fibs there. But I don't really see why it would stop before that after it broke such significant resistance like that.
Appreciate that, man.
Anytime. Sorry, I'm just going through the comments here, trying to catch up. Very active community today. Good turnout today, so like I said, thank you all for joining. Appreciate every one of you. For those of you who are OGs, all the way to the people who, some of you guys, this is your first time checking me out. So hopefully you are appreciating kind of I like to look at the shorter time frames. I know not everybody's obviously trading the 1 minute, the 15-second and shit like that. Nor should most people do that. But I love doing that, especially live with you guys, because it just kind of, we see more of these things happen. Yeah, as we bounce around, we obviously miss things that happen on the shorter time frame and stuff, but we just get so much more of a deeper view of when those reversals are happening and when those signals are printing, because you get so many of them on the shorter time frames. Same with looking for those Fibonacci's, right? When Stuber fibs, they happen so much more on shorter time frames, obviously. So really like looking at the shorter time frames. But structure, the way I look at structure, I mean, that's why I like to look at the longer time frames too as well, just to kind of get a better view of what's going on in general. Like I said, that's kind of a tricky one right there, but that's why I'm looking at the shorter time frames for now. But yeah, structure works the same on all time frames basically. I look at the signals the same as well. I'm more so, like I was showing, I like to kind of see which way they're trending and stuff like that, just as a second opinion more than anything. I do most of my analysis from a naked chart, and then I like to bring in the indicators. But just kind of playing with that strategy with the, like I said, the 15-second on XRP, it's been pretty fun the last few days. But again, when I'm trading those shorter time frames, understand that I was also looking at the longer time frames before I started just shorting the shit out of XRP. I was waiting until it made sense to me because I was hitting weekly resistance. Yeah, there was bound to be some sort of a reaction around those levels. That's when we zoom in and start seeing signals trending to the downside and stuff like that, right? Just as that added confirmation. But it does look like these might change directions here on XRP here. This is the 15 seconds, so I'm not saying this is a bottom. It's just, I did recently just close a quarter of my position, so I'm not going to take more, but this would be a warning to me to take some profits if I hadn't yet, just because, again, the trend may be shifting to the upside here. So but yeah, let's just see anything else I'm missing here. Nicholas, new mining rig. Nice. You're going to have to send me a vid of your new setup when you get it. I know you sent me your old one. What's up? Got some late joiners. Welcome.
Hey Stu, have you been trading grass at all?
Trading
Or have
it?
you just faded it like everybody else that hates
completely
money?
faded it. I have not been trading grass. I've been buying some, and
See, that's why I figured you would have hopped in, because it's a real project
it
with the
does
name
make
Grass. Like,
it makes perfect sense, and I'm disappointed.
I was like, if
in
anybody's
myself.
getting in on this, it's me and Stu.
Is it?
No, you disappointed me.
I'm disappointed in myself. How embarrassing. MEXC, would that be where we want to be?
Or Bybit.
Is that as old as it is?
I think they both came out same-ish time.
Yeah. Why don't I own that? That's just dumb.
Like, dude, I guess you don't always show up to Vikings, but I was like shouting it at everybody at 50 cents on launch day. Like,
Oh,
dude,
really?
buy a bag. Yes.
Oh, man. Nice. Well, and that's going to be one just like, tits and ass.
It's
and,
gonna do a
all the
FET or
classic
whatever.
Degenerates. Well, like I
Because
said,
it's
now
not
I'm going to have
listed
to
on
buy...
Coinbase or anything else yet either. So,
well, I'm going to have to buy some of that today now too, frick's sakes. No, that's good. That's good. I will probably be buying some of that today. Buying grass, that's illegal, sir? No, it's not. Not for me. There's like 4 stores within a 5-minute walk of my house. Canada does some things right. Yeah, Nicholas gets it. The old murder shed.
In the U.S., there's like 4 states that actually do care, but everybody else, well, there's stores everywhere.
Oh yeah. The old,
You should come to Holland.
you know, I do have
I'm
a
gonna go
couple-
to Thailand soon.
I do have a friend in Holland I should come visit.
Holland's great.
Yep. Grass everywhere. You don't need to
I'm pretty-
store for it.
I played honk ball in Holland.
Oh my! Wait, what?
I played honk ball in Holland.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm a professional honk ball player.
Dude, okay. Good. Nice.
He sounds so like defeated by that. I'm a professional. Yeah, good.
That'll be baseball and Dutch.
Mm, mm, yeah, kind of ish. Yeah, similar.
Well, that's what they told us when we played
Yeah.
baseball tournaments. They said they were calling them honk ball tournaments.
Yeah.
Closest thing to
Yeah, for us, handball is like golf for everyone else, you know, like the posh and the those kind of people. That's
You
how we
haven't met
see
a
them.
professional baseball player then before.
No,
Yeah.
we do, but we make funny jokes about them.
No, we love golfing. That's what we're into. Golfing,
Yeah,
fishing.
there you go.
Yeah.
It fits.
It does.
Yeah.
So, do you have the Honkball World Series in the Netherlands then?
Oh, I don't know.
Like
It's been
they-
years since I played over there.
I don't
They
think
have a-
it's
they
in
have
the
a national
Netherlands,
team.
but it's in Europe. Yeah, there are.
One
Well, fellas.
Took me forever to find out which button I had to press to get my microphone to work. I thought I was server banned again.
Well, look who it is.
What's up, Nicholas?
I'm sorry, dog. I've been busy. Normally my Thursdays are my busy nights, but my meeting got canceled.
Here, one sec, guys. I'm just gonna wrap up the stream and just to stop the recording, and then we're gonna have to shoot the shit here for a little bit. But
Alright.
for those of you who do have to get going or anything like that, I think that's about all I really wanted to go over in the stream today. Hopefully, you guys found this stream useful. If you did appreciate it, or you need to go back and look at anything, I will have this uploaded to my YouTube channel in probably a couple hours here. And like I said, do me a favor, if you do appreciate this content, go subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. Twitter, same thing, StuTube Trading, all one word, sometimes doing some analysis there as well. With that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.